You honestly thought he was no mage at all? I mean, I thought that at the beginning of the show, so why not? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Fate Stay Night Heavensfeel. We are in movie 2 now, but before we get into that, we have our normal thing of notes, comments, and a board. Now then, for the board, normally I would come back with a board changelog, but I was kind of pressed to get this done, and it is 2 a.m. now, so I've kind of just made the board. And I don't mean that as in I just made it. I mean, I just made it and I didn't keep notes about, what specifically I did. However, I will use this space nonetheless to advertise once again that we have our own website, and on said website, you can go to the watch page where everything from the Fate series on Patreon and YouTube is in a playlist. And on top of that playlist will be buttons that will take you to said board. So, we host our board ourselves now. So, if you want to see it, it is viewable at a moment's notice with the legend for the lines and halos and whatever else you want. So go on and take a look over there if you want to see in more detail than this small window can provide, and tell me in the comments what I missed, what I got wrong in the relationship stuff that happened last episode. Don't spoil me for shit. We'll get into that more as we go on. So yeah, into my notes then. So two things crossed my mind at the start of the movie, in the before times. First off, there is a different captain of the archery team a year and a half ago. I don't know who this guy is who is talking to Taiga, but he's referring to Yako as just a member of the team, and not the captain that we know she will become in the future. And I'm guessing this guy graduated in between the time, so that's why we don't know him. Secondly, if the change that causes the different story paths to happen at the start of the Grail War, sorry, I said that weirdly. What I meant to say is if it happens at the start of the Grail War, then the events of the start of the movie must be shared across all three stories, in much the same way as the start of Episode 0 of Unlimited Blade Works takes place mainly before the main events of everything else as well. You could kind of edit together the first few bits of all three series into a comprehensive, here's what everyone was doing right up until the first change. I mean, Taiga is just the best. Shame she just kind of falls out of Unlimited Blade Works as things escalate to be comaed later. Almost spilled the beans to Lessons, I think last time we were recording Fate Stay Night, that I regretted that she wouldn't be around to the whole story. Kinda odd that she doesn't like being called Tiger, but then doodled tigers all over Shiro's note. I didn't actually know that presage meant to portend or predict. Clearly this must mean that Sakura is said flower, and foreshadowing some future event somehow. Unfortunately, one of you commented, and I read it, that Shinji didn't send Sakura over to help Shiro. I say unfortunately because that's clearly a spoiler that I can't unknow now. I'm calling it a spoiler because that's what I believed when I was watching it, and the movie doesn't give evidence that it isn't the case for me to suspect otherwise. So, you know what? I'm reading this now, and I guess it's not a spoiler. If it's something that the movie is never going to say, but is true, then I guess it's just you telling me information that I wouldn't know otherwise. So there's the element there that when I call shit spoilers, people get upset because they think I'm insulting them somehow. Like, how dare you say I spoiled a thing? Again, I use spoiler in a very loose term, but I use it to say stuff that I don't want to know, or I don't want to know now yet, I guess in this instance, I just didn't like it because it put me on a different track of thinking than the track of thinking I feel like I should have been on. Which is to say, now I can't help but think that Sakura's up to some shit, right? Instead of thinking that there is some strange relationship going on, I have to consider why Sakura would suddenly appear here on her own, with no other motivation, making me think back to my constant questioning about her connection to Gilgamesh later on, any interaction with who she was in Fate Zero, the element that Shiro is an Emiya and may have some enemies from the last Grail War because of who his father is. As I keep saying, you gotta give me time to rewatch, take notes, and reconsider on my own before just telling me everything. Now, instead of thinking Sakura came over to help out, grew close to Shiro, then had to run off because of what Zoken might possibly be up to, or try and defend Shiro, now I got thoughts about her having a dark ulterior motive from the get-go. Again, I guess in this instance it wasn't a spoiler. I apologize for calling it a spoiler, but I just wish he had given me at least one more. I think it's the oddity if they're being movies too. This isn't like you waiting one episode. This is you waiting 4 hours, essentially, of movie content to tell me a thing. I don't know. I put it out there before. That's my desire. Give me one more thing of whatever we're watching. Give me one note section. So Sakura started getting home before Shiro because he gave her a key, and presumably he gets home late. But it occurs to me that's a bit weird, isn't it? First, he comes home saying, "I'm home," so he expects people to be there. Before Sakura, it was Taiga, who is a teacher, so he was getting home later than a teacher. Same thing with Sakura later. Sakura eventually joins the archery club, as we know. So how does a non-club member Shiro get home later than club-responsible Sakura or teacher-responsible Taiga? I would guess at his part-time job, maybe. Or, I guess he is at his part-time job, maybe. But we also see him leaving the school with as much sunset as when he gets home. So he didn't spend all that time going to work, either. When Sakura is asked if she has a hero like Shiro does, she grips her hairband and mutters about it. I forget, or am I making it up, but did Rin give her that hairband? Red is Rin's color, after all. It would have been in Fate Zero, or I'm just making it up. Because otherwise, I could only imagine she'd be shyly saying it to herself and thinking about Shiro. But future note here, never mind. Same hairband twirl when she's talking about Rin later at the school. So clearly Rin's her hero. Alright, so Kazuki was at the temple at least 10 months before the Grail War started. Good to know, although that's something that Issei said during Unlimited Blade Works that I just don't remember. I enjoyed the picture book showing off images of Taiga with a younger Shiro and a living Kiritsugu, especially depicting her as only slightly older than she was in the Einsburn consultation room. Also a friendly-looking Shinji with Shiro, proving that they were the friends that they've been described as a number of times now. Just off the edge of the last page, we must see, or it seems to be anyway, Sakura showing off the archery outfit at the dojo house as well. I guess this goes towards showing that she didn't join the team to be there with him, considering in past shows we weren't told when he left the team or when she joined it. Now, with this movie, it's clear that he left the team before she even joined the school. It's odd for Zoken to bring up Ilya. I mean, he'd at least know of Irisvale to mention her, but I think he'd know she was dead. I don't know how he'd know Ilya, unless she'd already arrived. I mean, we see her moments later, but he'd have to have eyes on her already, and then, he'd have to know about her already to then monitor her. It's a catch-22. He'd have to know about Ilya to monitor Ilya, right? Otherwise, he's just monitoring everybody at random. At the same time, were that true, then he's never kept eyes on Shiro enough to know that he has no idea who Ilya is or that she exists. Interesting that in the subtitle, Ilya calls Shiro Mr., but in the English dub, she just says Big Brother. Again, the thing that throws me from Unlimited Blade Works to here is that Sakura notices the seal developing on Shiro's hand and freaks out about it. I swear Shiro saw the same thing on Sakura's hand in Unlimited Blade Works, and it led to the whole confronting Shinji thing. The whole are you abusing your sister thing. But then Sakura never became a master in that. I mean, not unless I was meant to suspect that she had met Gilgamesh, who took her to Kirei, where she left the Grail War, and transferred her seal to him, and that's how he became a master? and then she hid in the church until Castor attacks, or one of you masterfully hid from me Sakura's dead body somewhere in the background of some scene. I mean, unless that's where Shinji gets his from, and he wasn't really chosen in the first place. I mean, obviously, I know some point during this, Hirei says that Lancer was his servant. However, that happens after Sakura could have given it. I don't know. I don't know. Too many things are afoot, and I'm constantly thinking about if this was the same timeline as Unlimited Blade Works with some divergences. Where the fuck did Sakura go? I keep wanting Saber to just talk about what she's been through and who she knew. I can imagine it would remove some tension and put too much focus on past stories, having characters in the now just rehashing them. But I also hate the trope of the character that knows important info and doesn't tell anyone. Yeah, I was right on first watch. Some of Shiro's lower intestine really did come out of him. At the end of his roll across the ground, they are just there on the ground next to him. Just goes to show how the regenerative powers of the Sheath of Excalibur work. I still don't get why the hell we'd like Shinji. Sorry, some of my notes just aren't typed well. I still don't get why the hell we'd let Shinji just walk away after what he did to Ayako and his attempt to fight Shiro. At least throw a punch. He deserves more than just emotional damage. I'm still never going to buy into this figure of Kiritsugu that these shows want to portray. Of course he wouldn't abandon any victims of the Grail War. He just caused the majority of them. I dare say more people died because of Kiritsugu than Ryunosuke. You know, all the magic stuff aside, Sakura passing out, she did just run face first into a door moments ago. Well, rather unceremonious end to Castor's assassin, to give birth to a new assassin out of nowhere. Again, if it weren't for the spoiler comment, I'd still be pursuing my blue stuff theory. I'm still at a loss as to what went on with Castor. The temple is her domain. She should have ultimate power there. I get that after her master was killed, she likely suffered a real lack of power. I mean, maybe not, since she's been siphoning power the whole time. But she should also have vision over the entire compound as well. None of this should have really caught her unaware. Essentially, True Assassin overpowered Castor at her best. That puts him up there in the rankings, I gotta think. Legit, Shinji just slaps Sakura in your home and picks a fight with you in your home. I know this is Japan and there are different laws, but legit, people are dying left and right these days. Who's to say what happened? This guy would have just gone missing. Shiro letting him walk away, again, just a no-go. If it's this version of, this run's version of the bridge incident, another reason why I can't get behind the middle run of who Shiro is. And by that I mean there's the, say, Unlimited Blade Works example, right? There's the start of the show where he's just some guy, right? He's just some guy. And then there's the middle, say the bridge incident, which I just did not like Shiro for. And then he comes back at the end, right? I'm not exactly rooting for Shiro the entire time, but he's the guy you're supposed to root for, and I recognize that. Well, this is middle run Shiro. Why are we letting Shinji just walk the fuck away? Throw some fists. It's funny that both Rin and Sakura have spying on Shiro doing a high jumps memories. Can't wait to see if Lessons and I get a third person's perspective of someone spying on Shiro doing high jumps in Fate Stay Night. So the heater loses power right before Sakura leaves. We later see that the power seems to go out whenever that new thing is around, suggesting to me that it came to pick up Sakura. A classic movie trope of the car transporter just driving on as a car falls off of their transport. Their fight should have started, and then the truck should have just stopped in the middle of the road, regardless of anything else. But hey, just a casual grail fight taking place in front of everyone on the road, and all these lit up high-rise windows. It is interesting that we have a new servant that can steal hearts, and that we've seen that Gilgamesh is going to need a heart for his plan. Seems like we're setting up for a different sort of conflict. I'm going to leave servants that I've marked as dead on the board, even if they are back again. Seems like necromancy or bug puppeteering. Either way, it's not really them. I will say, though, interesting, whatever's going on, considering that the bodies tend to fade away into the ether when they die, and yet these are dead and still here. How the hell did Shiro know to shout something about Castor's sword? Like, he never shouts like any other fight, right? I guess technically he does shout run away during Hercules and Castor's fight, but it's like he knew something about Castor's dagger sword thing. How? There's someone out there that's probably going to be like his reinforcement ability or something, or unlimited blade works, but he didn't have that yet. So how? When Shiro got hit by the beam of darkness, I slowed down the playback to 25% and repeatedly paused on the images, and I gotta say, I still got nothing. Seems like lots of hooded figures extended off into infinity, with creepy faces painted over some of them, people suffering, a girl holding a dead rabbit, with rabbits hanging from the trees, a house in the fields under the moon, a rotting rabbit, a fly, more hanging rabbits but hanging from vines. I don't know what's going on here. Is this going to be death? Death from a Strange Fake? Or like death from Strange Fake? But like decay or something else? I gotta wonder at this point, what the hell Zoken was up to during Unlimited Blade Works. Like the element of, he's here, and technically anything happening here is relatively the same as what would have happened in any other series, except for, whatever minor changes have occurred to change up the timeline. Well, if he's doing this here, was he set up to do it there and we just didn't see it? Also, no clue about Sakura's illness. If she really is ill. If she really is ill. If she really is ill, or maybe she's just being drained of her mana by something that Zoken is up to? Or I guess Shinji. Shinji could be up to it as well. And lastly, I translated what Shinji was writing at the end. Unfortunately, they were just alchemy instructions without any purpose, so no clues readable therein. Alright then, on to notes. First up, on to Azope. Obviously, these notes come from the only thing to exist right now, so too bad you don't read my comment on the previous video. I hope you will notice what action Shiro have made to enter Heavensfield, because you've seen it, you seem to have not noticed when it happened. If not, I will say to you in the next video. Heavensfield is so short, it take more a summary of the visual novel route in the visual novel It the Longest Route, and it have the shortest adaptation. If you don't count the Dean movie. That why a lot of visual novel fans dislike it, but I think if you ask not too many questions, it's still 3 good movie that start on its own. That stand on its own. I think I would have preferred the same format that the other 2. The only one I think that would work well with a movie format is probably Stay Night, aka the Saber route. Well, yeah, here's the thing. Sorry, I actually have a pre-written note to the first thing that you said, but I'm thinking about what you said here in the second half off the top of my head. That would basically be Gundam Origin, right? Gundam Origin is a bunch of hour-long, was it 6-hour-long things that they also released in a 12, 30-minute episode format. So you have Gundam The Origin. I guess technically it's Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin. And then Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin Rise of the Red Comet, which is the 30-minute episode version. Because I think I said the math earlier, this is essentially like 12 episodes worth if you put it all together. So you could do half a season, Heavensfield, half a season. To the rest of what you said, though. As a note, I did personally read your comment up to a point. If I recall, you agreed with my view about timelines and multiverses and canonicity. Specifically where I stopped was when you mentioned the name Heavensfield. At which point I stopped reading, because as I always say, I am my own bulwark against spoilers. I decide what is and isn't one, and only me. Now, I'm not saying that you even did spoil anything. I have no idea what you said about Heavensfield, in fact. As a blanket statement to everyone commenting, the thing about spoilers is that you only get one chance to not know what you're getting into, and you can't unread something that you've read. Rather than risk it, I chose not to read anyone's comment referring to stuff I hadn't seen yet, both on Patreon and on YouTube. That is why I always say, give me a chance to digest things first. First I watch a video, that's my reaction. Then I rewatch the video and I come back with notes about it. If I still have missed something after those notes, that's the point to bring something up in a comment. So you gotta give me time. And as I said, I am vehemently against spoilers. So if you know I'm going to watch Heaven's Feel, and then you say something about Heaven's Feel before I get there, I'm gonna cut it off. I'm not gonna read any more comment. That's it. I can't risk it. As I said, I only have the one chance to go in blind, and I can't risk someone putting up a billboard in front of me. So, alright, next up we have Savaris. Yeah, these movies condense, underplay, and outright cut a few of the major character scenes and explanations, but then decide to horrifically extend all of the fight scenes in ways that go against the character constraints of the fights that they are adapting. This is also with the original visual novel route already having some questionable, strange fake tier tie-ins. So the don't explain anything, let the movies explain / not explain so I can enjoy / get irritated is going to make the post-movie 3 talk wild, lol. Should be fun. Heaven's Feel is probably the route closest to having a horror mood / tone, but this gets ruined with movie pacing and UFO table deciding to crank the flashy lights to 11. For reference, 90% of that Lancer versus Assassin fight isn't in the visual novel, with it being super obvious since they teleport to the complete opposite side of Fuyuki after the big flashy action scene. I would say in general, most people who aren't Sakura lovers but have read and enjoyed the route in the visual novel dislike these movies as far as being adaptations goes. They are fine as action romps wearing Heaven's Feel as skin. Well, I mean, you're putting expectations out there, and unfortunately I can't jive with that. The element is I'm one movie in and there's questions and there's some things up in the air, but there's still 2 movies left, so I can't really judge it yet. You're definitely putting out there that a lot of people don't like stuff like that. My problem is that I'm also contrarian by nature. I might like it just as a spite, so I don't know. At this point, you're putting shit out there that I don't know if I can take back or not. And lastly, we have Fenrir756, the sponsor of the movie. So once again, thank you for sponsoring. I may not have time for more detailed comments, so I'll lay out some quick points and maybe have a separate comment later, which you did. Shinji did not send Sakura to take care of Shiro, and you might not remember this from Unlimited Blade Works, but Issei blames him for driving Shiro out of the archery club. The movie depicts the scene without dialogue, but basically Shiro had a scar on his shoulder from his injury that would be visible with the uniform, and Shinji told him it was unsightly and hurt the club's image. This is obviously the comment I was talking about before when it came to spoilers, and then I walked back a little bit because it's not technically a spoiler. I mean, it kind of is in that it sets my expectations and what to think about a thing without the movie itself telling me that. But I guess it's, again, just you telling me a thing that the movie has no context for and apparently will not go back to tell me. Also, yes, I forgot that from Unlimited Blade Works, but the movie told me. So, literally, I got that information right here, right now. True Assassin is not stronger than the previous Assassin and is definitely not stronger than the other servants. Arguable. Sorry, that didn't come out as English. Arguable? Granted, you've come up with a reason, I think, somewhere around here, why he defeated Assassin, which is to say, it's kind of a cheat. He gets summoned into Assassin and then blew out of Assassin. Which technically means he defeated Assassin, I don't know what to tell you. He also defeated Caster in our strongest place ever. He tricked Lancer, and tricking Lancer equaled a win. The dude's coming up aces every time, I don't know what to tell you. In the visual novel, there are 2 key divergence points. Sorry, I'm laughing already. In the visual novel, there are two key divergence points that cause the story to branch out. First is whether Shiro uses a command seal to stop Saber from injuring Archer. If he doesn't, the next divergence point comes after Heracles almost kills him, and he has to decide whether to ally with Rin, which starts the Fate route, or go it alone, which starts Heaven's Feel, if Shiro has enough Sakura affection points. The Fate anime combines some Fate and Unlimited Blade Works, which messes that with this. So I was about to laugh a bit because, again, as I've said a number of times now, everyone wants to tell me this. This has been my most dodged spoiler. I know I went through this whole "don't spoil me." I avoid reading stuff like this, but this literally comes from the person sponsoring the series. They're the reason I'm watching this, so if they want to spoil me for stuff, I can't avoid these spoilers. So, yeah, I have. You don't know how many people in any of the Fate videos have told me the reason when the changes happen, and across shows how many or what changes happen in the other shows too. And I don't mean just the changes; I mean the things that causes the alternative timelines or whatever. And I have been dodging them all. But the element is that at some point I will accidentally read one, and then I just see the rest of them. And now here it is, Fenrir telling me. I think again I was laughing also from the element that nobody reads other people's comments. From my perspective, everyone is saying the same things. So it's just funny that I'm repeating myself. I'm just gonna move on. Ryder is not a vampire, but a person's blood is rich in magic energy because it is so closely tied with their life force. Yeah, sure, why not? Blood and semen. I will also point out that I've never said that they were a vampire. I don't think. I think I said they were like a vampire. Because I know I wouldn't say that they're a vampire because I hope you guys are sitting on the edge of your seats because this is gonna catch y'all crazy. It's been spoiled to me who Ryder is. I've known who Ryder was for a long ass time. I'm saying I think actually Medusa. Somebody spoiled it was Medusa. Like I said, you only get the one shot to not know something, and all it takes is one person to post something and not have any like hint ahead of time that they're leading you into a spoiler. So yeah, I saw that Ryder was Medusa back in Unlimited Blade Works, but thankfully didn't survive very long on Unlimited Blade Works. Wasn't a thing. So it's just been me watching Stay Night with lessons, seeing Ryder now apparently alive and all over the place, just knowing that Medusa is here. The movie condenses a lot of material from the visual novel, and I think almost a week is meant to go by before the point of the movie ends. Unfortunately, it cuts a lot of content I know you would have enjoyed seeing. I mean, that's the problem, is that I don't know that I have the time specifically to jump into the visual novels. Because otherwise it would be, okay, well, let's see what I missed by jumping into the visual novels. Although I will say, the idea is like Sympho Gear, I think, has a lot of its extra stuff on YouTube videos. So it doesn't seem unlikely to me that I couldn't just find somebody playing the visual novels and watch that. You wouldn't believe how much gameplay of Iron-Blooded Orphans or Deer Hunt I had to watch just to get to the cutscenes and see what the story of the game was. A repost of my correction comment from Sunny Days, but Word of God stated that Shiro does not become Archer at the end of any of the 3 routes. I don't give a shit. Sorry, bit flippant of me there. I don't give a shit. Word of God does not mean anything to me. I have said many times I do not believe in authorial intent. What happens with the material that you put out there after you're done with it, that's on me. I'm the consumer. I consume. If my interpretation is not defeated, I guess by the community, since I'm in the community, if I was just some guy reading by myself, not sharing my thoughts, then you really could never defeat my interpretation. But really, I guess the community alone is my filter on this. And in as such, I don't care what the guy who made the thing says. If there's nothing to prove that he doesn't become Archer, and it seems overwhelming, as it does to me, that the evidence is that he becomes Archer at some point, then he becomes Archer at some point. Like, I don't know what to say. I will try to rewatch your coverage and post more comments if I have time, which I'm pretty sure this was your second post, unless further on. You are correct, everything is canon because of multiple timelines. Again, for me, it's more about how do I convey that on the board, and now specifically in the new board setup. Because I'm thinking either I'm going to have to find a way to separate everything by its show, which is the previous format now on the new board, or I'll just mix everything up and we'll just have multiple characters. It'll just be different versions of themselves, right? So we'll have 3 Shiros, one from each timeline, all on the same board. Like, so we'll have 3 of everybody. 3 of everybody that shows up, anyway. Again, it's all in my head. It's all bouncing around in my head. What exactly do we do with the new board when it comes to all of this? Because I still have the want to put all of Fate on one board, even though, some of these worlds don't mesh, or they're alternative worlds, multiverses, whatnot. Ilya doesn't know that Saber can remember and assumes that she can't. I don't know. That seems the opposite to me. It seems like she says a thing, assuming that she can, and tests it, and then believes that she can't. Because otherwise, why would she say the thing to begin with? Also, Saber never met her before. Again, I'm only talking about Fate Zero. Wait, did she? Never mind. Wait, she got summoned back at the castle and then got brought to where she was going. So she would have seen Ilya. Never mind. I forgot, we had this conversation before, I feel like, as well. If Kiritsugu didn't destroy the Grail, potentially all humanity could have died, and he didn't realize the contents of the Grail would spill out and cause that damage. Okay, that's 2 different concerns that you're having there. One, potentially all of humanity could have died. Maybe. We don't know. I mean, Gilgamesh is counting on maybe not all humanity, a lot of humanity. But also, that's for the current Grail War. I don't know if we knew that during the last Grail War. I mean, not that we knew that, and that doesn't... The act of knowing a thing doesn't make it true or not true. I just mean the element of, I don't know if that's what would have happened. Because if that is true, that is a really weird warning the Grail was giving Kiritsugu about his wish, right? Unless the Grail was trying to make him want to kill most of humanity as a wish in order to save one person. I don't know. Because if that's true, then his wish came true because he saved one person. Anyway, the second half, he didn't realize the contents of the Grail would spill out and cause that damage. Negligence and lack of knowledge, I guess, are not excuses for the crimes that you commit. If you don't know how to drive a car, get into a car, and somehow cause it to hurt somebody, you're still liable for hurting somebody. Ignorance is not an excuse. Assassin has no ability to turn off the power. I think I was getting it confused with the other thing that I don't know the name of. The thing with the darkness power and with the rabbits and everything. Because I know even in my rewatch notes, I had written down Assassin, and I went back and talked about the thing. So, I think it's that thing. Kirei is eating mapu tofu, which is usually spicy, and he is eating an especially spicy version. I don't know. It would seem to have triggered Shiro to want to vomit every time he saw it. But maybe Shiro's having PTSD with all the blood and whatnot that he saw before, too. And your final part of this comment. This paragraph will cover some of the fake assassin from Strange Fake's backstory that connects with the new assassin and the fact that their noble phantasms share names. Oh, right, yeah, sorry. Fake assassin was the woman who seems Bayonetta focused. I only mean from the element that she has, seems like hair. Her Zabanya is hair, versus his Zabanya is giant hand. Zabanya is the name of the noble phantasm most Hassan assassin servants have, even if they are different in nature. Fake Assassin had multiple noble phantasms called Zabanya, and even had one where she created an arm to attack the target's heart. Yeah, I believe it's the first thing she does when she gets summoned, blows out one of Jester's hearts. Or chambers, or bullets? I can't remember exactly what he calls them. That noble phantasm was a technique developed based on the assassin's Zabanya, as she has mastered/learned the noble phantasm of past Hassans. Fair enough. I was worried you were about to tell me something that I didn't know already, and I was real hesitant because, again, the whole spoiler conversation I had before, and the element that I'm not done Strange Fake, in that I'm hoping it comes back with more story. So, yeah. Alright, well, those were the comments. There's nothing really left to do here but to hop on in and see what we get from our next 2-hour movie.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
The silence that starts everything. I assume there was some time between the movies coming out, so that we're probably going to get hit with some sort of recap at the very start. As I was just likening it to Gundam The Origin, I think there was a year between each one of them coming out. So each one of them starts with like a 10-minute recap. Oh shit, I forgot to talk about this. There's another element of this that I'm kind of spoiled to, I believe, anyway. Which is to say that the Unlimited Blade Works D&D thing I keep talking about would use images of a dark saber. One of two. Which I believe comes from this. So I anticipate that when we see Saber again, she's going to be in black armor. Black and red armor. I think I talked about it at the very end of last episode. The horror thing would be to turn around and have her be all bug-ridden, like Caster. Okay, fair enough. That's pretty horrific too. Okay, sort of a prequel to a scene that we didn't see. Oh, no, never mind. He's just back there again, like a nightmare. Like a nightmare. Is he under the snow, or is he, like, turned into a shadow? Pretty horrific. The other one I meant to bring up, I think, is supposed to be like from Fate Prototype? I don't know what that is really. The gender bent male version of Saber. Except that it's also in the black and red armor. I think that's the one I used in D&D campaigns for real, as a character image. We haven't been at the mountain ever, have we? It's a partial cave-in at the mountain. Did the thing come from the mountain? Maybe she's directing the thing with her mind by her desires.
違うんだ、さくら。セイバーに付き合ってたんじゃなくて、俺がセイバーを付き合わせてたんだ。これからもっと家を留守にするかもしれない。 でも帰りが遅くなるからって玄関でずっと待ってるってのは
Well, this is
なしに
a
して
bit negative. I understand the element of don't wait up for me,
そう
because you don't want to put her out as well.
俺の戦うべき相手
So
は
when did she start wearing full-on red outfit?
まだこの町にいる
So yeah, what I was saying was, what if this creature thing is like Sakura's subconscious or something? She thinks Saber is getting in the way, and then the creature goes for Saber. Or she wants Shiro to stay, so the creature's gonna start trying to make Shiro stay, right? Or a reflective ceiling. Oh, is the idea that Fuyuki is being cut off? That the entrance cave-in thing is to the roadway to Fuyuki? I really just started noticing the element that the mountains surround the entire area.
神道中央公園竜道寺あの影みたいなやつは何が目的だ
Were those the 3 ley line
造
points?
剣との関わりも刺激してるいや利用しているだけ遠坂にも聞いてみないと
That one had my pee in it.
なんだ
I'm so fucking worried that Ilya's gonna die this movie. In Unlimited Blade Works, she was badass. Until she was time for her to die, and then she wasn't so badass.
お兄ちゃんの名前
And this is kind of like a thing that happens with Stay Night.
エミヤシロ
白ね
ちょっと
Like I said, she's fucking adorable, and I don't want her to die.
イリアでいいよマスターが戦っていいのは夜だけなんだよ私はシロと話しに来たの
あのないきなり人をぶった切っておいて話だなんて
何よあれは違うもんシロが弱っちいくせに飛び出してくるからじゃない今だって
Yeah,
殺
also,
しちゃうこともできるんだ
who's going after your servant, not you.
セイバーのいないシロなんてあっという間なんだからねそれに今までずっと待ってたんだからそれくらいいいでしょ
じゃあイリアは森の城に住んでるのか一人で
セラとリズも一緒よ今日だってセラの根を盗んでシロに会いに来てあげたんだから光栄に思いなさい
なるほど
Also, does that mean... I don't remember her coming out to meet in Unlimited Blade Works, but I do remember her getting attacked
エミヤキリツグって名前に覚えはないか
right after she talks to them about going out to... Or was it to invite him there?
イリア
知らないそんな名前知らない私帰る
What did I say? I hate the trope of people that know shit and just hold it back. Don't have the conversations.
あれ
エミヤ君
操作か。話しな
You
が
know,
らこと
assumingly,
もできる
there's
じゃない
still
か。
a lot more house. This is very clearly her bedroom. She invited you straight to the bedroom. Must have been after Dad died and Mother became
これっ
what she
て
became.
何してるの？さあ、作戦会議を始めましょう。
Well, I'm glad I noticed in the rewatch. Because very clearly the red things I was supposed to notice. Hair ties. Guess there's your lost butterfly. And your horror compartment, which I have to believe is Zokin coming for you. Or your own nightmare. There we go, nightmare.
夕飯の準備しなきゃ。
If she is a master, then there's nothing really keeping this place safe.
早く言いなさいよ。さくらが熱出してるって。
No real reason for her to stay there
挟
either.
ませなかったんだろ。開いてる。さくら、
The
入ってん
sliding
のか？
paper door wasn't locked? Egads.
エミヤくん？もう。
I'm gonna guess Kirei has her. Oh, school? Taiga? Some Taiga? Shinji.
シンジ、さくらを離せ。シンジ。
安心しろよ。
Where's the earrings come from?
エミヤを殺したりはしないさ。ただちょっと痛い目にあってもらわない。
Is she afraid because she thinks Shinji can take on Shiro?
無事に済んだら話してやってもいい。
That's even more insulting.
やれ、ライダー。
あなたは戦う気があるのなら一人で来るべきではなかった。
Oh yeah, I guess the element that there's no saber anymore kind of makes this a one-sided fight. When they walked in and I recognized it was Shinji, I gotta admit there was a little part of me that was hoping that his alchemy stuff that he was doing was for Sakura's illness. And it wasn't just Shinji being an asshole.
どうしたエミヤ？簡単にくたばっちゃつまらないぜ。
我慢強いあなたの勝ちですね。
いいぞ。もう手加減はなしだ。
Like I said, since we got her mostly in Unlimited Blade Works,
そのまま殺しちゃえよ。ライダー。
we didn't get much of her because she was dead. And she's been around a lot more in Stay Night, so we're getting more of that there. But she actually seems kind of nice. And it seems like movie version of her is that same nice version.
さ さくら。
There's that fucking book again.
なんで。魔術。
Well, you honestly thought he wasn't a mage at all? I mean, I thought that at the beginning of the show, so why not? Oh, the one he was gripping the knife with, too.
ライダー、こいつは殺せ。
Yeah, got allies. That's a shame.
は
Take the book from him so he doesn't, like, do shit.
父さか。なんで。
私とエミヤ君は共闘関係を結んでるの。今日だってずっと一緒にいたってだけのことよ。さくらを利用した以上、あんたは完全に私を敵に回したのよ。
さくら。
Again, beat the shit out of this guy. Better not let him walk away again.
こんなやつどうでもいいだろ。マスターになったのは僕なんだぞ。立て、ライダー。かな。
Like I said, I gotta assume the illness was because of a connection. Is it Sakura is the master, and that he was using the book to assert that control?
嘘。これがライダー。
いいぞ、ライダー。そのまま全員始末しろ。おい、ライダー。
そうよね。魔頭の血はもう廃れて、魔術を扱える人間は輩出されない。私は造剣がライダーを召喚して神事に預けているのかと思ってた。
I mean, do remember that the play back in Fate Zero
父さか。
今の魔頭家において
was that Sakura was only there to have the kid for the next Girl War. I believe that was the case, wasn't it?
魔頭の正当な後継者、根大の魔術師であるあなただものね、さくら。
さくらがマスター。
霊樹の譲渡、魔頭神事の指示に従うっていう霊樹か。それによって神事はライダーのマスターになって、
おい、
その間あなたはマスターとしての権限を失い、ただの魔術師に。
It makes sense to me. I'm still confused about the earring,
お
though.
前らどこを見てるんだよ。
霊樹を作り出した魔頭だからこそ、そんな裏技が可能だったわけね、さくら。
おい、こっちを見ろよ。
Seriously, knock him the fuck out.
まだ終わっちゃいない。
That's the only thing he deserves. That's all the attention he deserves.
もう一度僕に支配権を譲れ。何今さら言いこぶってんだよ。 レイジはあと一つある。それを使って。
シンジ、レイジュがなければライダーは自由になる。
And you've been torturing her this whole time.
すぐさま燃やされて終わりでしょうね。借り物のレイジュで操っていたあなたは初めからマスターなんかじゃなかったのよ。
シンジ。
He was already pathetic. This isn't really that much lower than he already was.
分かってた。分かってた。分かってた。分かってた。こんなの初めから伝わりこないって分かってたさ。だからさ、お前がやれよ。僕の代わりにあいつらを殺せ。さくら。
Or, you know, we form a three-way team.
いいえ、兄さん、もうやめましょう。兄さんは約束を破りました。先輩は殺さないって言ったのに。だから。
Technically, he's not dead.
じゃあいいよ。死んじゃえよ、お前。
Oh, the earring. So the cure to her illness?
さくら。
Poison? Stop letting him just fucking walk away.
さくら。
制御できてないみたいね。
ここから離れろ。下手に魔力を与えては戻せなくなる。
Okay, for a second there, I was worried that she was like illusioned up, and actually she's like, what's his name was after the bugs got to him? That was the source of her illness?
失うより多くの魔力を摂取すればいいだけのこと。
主が変わったところで少年は変わらんということか。
Like I said, I think Ryder's inherently good. She's just put in bad situations. Oh, the barrier. Hard to argue this one. And they didn't do anything to weaken the barrier in this movie series.
もうやめて、ライダー。私、こんなことがしたくてあなたを呼んだんじゃない。
その命令は聞けません。私は何よりあなたの命を優先する。
Turn to stone? Paralyzed. No, stone. Okay. As I said, spoiled to this part, so... Not this part, but who she is.
父さんが。
Is it who she's looking at, or do you have to look back at her? He's got super regeneration. I'm not too afraid of this. His intestines literally got cut out of him earlier. She, however, does not. Not sure how this series ends with Sakura being the love interest. I'm not sure she's alive right now.
Sakura!
You know, instead of maybe the church overlooking the Grail War, a hospital should overlook the Grail War.
ようやく目が覚めたか。今、的尾さくらの治療が終わったところだ。
さくらは無事なのか。
落ち着いて。ライダーとここに連れてきたのよ。キレ、さくらの容体は？
安定してはいないが。
Why'd you shit on me for it? I was asking the same question.
ちょっと待って。あんた、魔術刻印はどうしたのよ。
I told Shiro Lancer was dead. Did he not tell you?
治療に全て使わざるを得なかった。
全部って。
で、その治療した。
Oh, right, yeah, I guess he would still have it. Wait, what? I thought we saw somebody lose their seals when.
一体なんだ。
Whatever, never mind.
その
生きた魔術回路と思えばいい。刻印中は一度食らいつけば、体の隅々まで浸透し、ひたすらに生を結ぶ。
Thus the illness. Okay. So she did have what's his name's thing, the same stuff.
濡らし、快楽中枢を高揚、崩壊させることで上を満たす。結果、この虫どもにたかられた女は心と体、その二つを完全に侵され破壊される。
Not what I thought he was gonna say, but yeah, makes sense.
やめろ。
説明が必要だと思ったのだがね。あれが体内にいる以上、生命エネルギーである魔力は際限なく。
Also means that you can't feel pleasure either, so.
命を落とすだろう。
手術は成功したんだろう。
すべてではない。11年分だぞ。無理に引き抜けば体の方が持たん。完全に取り除くには、それこそ聖杯に頼るしか。
Manipulation. Just more manipulation. Also, the command seals weren't enough? Command seals can do like fucking anything. Oh, that's right. That's what I was thinking. Shiro lost his command seals when he lost Saber. So I just assumed that that's what happened. So I don't think I've ever heard that title before. Fuyuki's a supervisor.
ええ。力を制御できない魔術師は生かしておけない。あの子はもう狂ったマスターよ。
So is this where we turn on Rin?
妹。
遠坂にはもともと子
Oh,
供
yeah,
が
the benefits of having started with Fate Zero.
魔術は一子相伝。私が遠坂の魔術を継いだ。桜はもう血の途絶えていた魔頭。マキリの後継者として養子に引き取
Hey,
り。
that's the name that we heard in Einsburn Consultation Room.
私と桜は実の姉妹よ。一度もそう呼び合ったことはないけどね。
待て、遠坂。それならなおさら。
Tell her about the hairbands? I don't know what you have
あ
left.
の子を放っておいたらまた同じことが起きる。
Yeah, but I regenerate super fast. I think we can do this.
見境なしに。だから私は
Keep her in the house. Well, she'll be alive then. Well, no, never mind. She heard everything. Got away. I honestly don't know where she would go other than the dojo, because hopefully she wouldn't go back to her place. No, never mind. I guess it's not the dojo then.
だからこれをやる。
Oddly, looks more like a car key to me.
大切な人から大事なものをもらったのはこれで
The hairbands from Rin. Or at least one of them. I say in the where the title card is from, Sakura is the lost butterfly.
さくら、遠坂より先に見つけないと。けど、さくらを見つけて。
I guess we had to find out a reason for Shiro and what the hell was that?
こんばんは、シロ。
You know, for Shiro and Rin to be on opposite sides.
夜は戦うんじゃないのか。
シロはもうマスターじゃないもの。私は何でも知ってるの。ライダーのマスターが倒れて、残りは2人。シロはライダーのマスターを助け
I mean, again,
たけど
Gilgamesh.
見つけられないのよね。
うるさい。
Oh, good job, Ilya, being the more mature one.
泣きそう。
イリア、怒らないのか。
怒らないよ。私はシロの味方だもん。
Because we're family.
俺の味方。
今朝の話、キリツグのこと、本当は知ってた。私が生まれた理由は、聖杯戦争に勝つことだけど、イリアの目的は、キリツグとシロを殺すことだったから。けどね、シロが大切な人を守りたいって言うなら、私はシロの味方だよ。
See, if I didn't know her before, there's no way in hell I would trust somebody who told me something like that.
私知ってるんだから。
I think there's a version of Ilya that I don't like. Unfortunately, I also don't think there's a version of Ilya that's going to survive. I've seen one. I believe it's in store for both of them. All three of them, rather.
本当に帰る場所全部なくなっちゃったな。
Man, that's on you? Because I don't think you've heard everybody out yet. Except for Rin. You know, Rin's up to.
さくら。
先輩。
さくら。
You dropped your keys.
帰ろう。風邪、治りきってないだろ。
帰れません。さっきのこれ、毒でもなんでもない。
The cure, not the cure.
を敏感にするだけ
Yeah, medicine. I couldn't think of the word.
私はそれだけで自分がわからなくなって先輩を傷つけたんです。
傷ついてない。あんなの、俺は平気だ。
私は魔導の魔術師で、それをずっと
Hard lie to pull off when you're still blood red on the
俺だっ
gut.
てマスターになったことをさくらに言ってなかった。
先輩のお家に行っていたのもおじい様に逆らうのが怖くてです。先輩を手伝うって言ってずっと騙してきました。
This is why I called that other thing a spoiler, because now it had me guessing about all this shit.
いつも思ってました。私は先輩のそばにいていい人間じゃない。
Also, you're pretty shit at high jumps.
だからこんなのは今日限りにして、明日からは知らない人のふりをしようって。廊下で出会ってもすれ違うだけで、放課後も他人みたいに知らんふりして。
Oh man, it's like a purple rem.
家に帰って今までのことは忘れようって。
Like it makes her the anti-rem.
でもできなかった。
Not describing the future, but describing how I forget you.
先輩を騙すのもそれをやめてしまうのも怖くて周りはみんな怖いことだらけでもう一歩も動けなくなってどうしていいかわからなかった
And maybe every ending's the good ending.
時間をこれからも守っていたかった私にとってはそれだけが意味のあることだったのに
I mean, we saw the ending where you're happy with Rin. I can't imagine making Sakura happy is not a good ending, too.
俺が守りたいもの、俺にとって大切なもの、それをこれ以上泣かせたくないのなら
Thankfully, this time it is raining, though.
さくらが自分で自分を責めるしかないのなら俺は手を引いてちゃんと日の当たる場所に連れて行って
Wish we were looking. Yeah, I'm saying look up with confidence.
俺がさくらの代わりにさくらを許し
Oh,
続
it's
け
a
る
good line. It's a good line.
もう
It's a
泣くな
common line. Gurren Lagann.
さくらが悪いやつだってことはよくわかったから
Although you said you'd be mad at her, so you're lying.
私はいつさっきみたいに取り乱すかわからなくてきっと取り返しのつかないことをしますそんな私がどこに帰れるって言うんですか
The dojo. You dropped your keys.
ここがさくらの家だ
Again, one of them looks like a house key, and one of them looks like a car key.
私
I guess maybe it's the gate key.
少女じゃないんですよ
Weird flex.
初体験なんてとっくに終わってるんですそれだけじゃなくてそれからずっとよくわからないものに
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the bugs first, but I don't know if you're talking about the bugs anymore. Also, yeah, it was like non-consensual as well, so I mean, who's gonna count that?
さくら自身がさくらを殺そうとしても俺がさくらを守るよ 俺はさくらだけの正義の味方になる
I can see why Fate Stay Night was a really good visual novel. I can see why this would sell. Without the porn shit, by the way. Emotionally, I'm there. Of the two routes I've been seeing so far, this is the one I would have picked. Not because she needs to be saved or something like that. It's just I like this relationship more. Rin doesn't need us. Rin's good. Whereas without us, Sakura's just in a worse place. Sakura picks us up, we pick Sakura up, it's a good thing. Whereas I feel like Rin without us is gonna turn into a bitch. I feel like she's gonna try and kill us.
お前が今までの信念を守るのならそれでいい。結末は見えている。だが、もし違う道を選ぶのなら、エミやシロに未来はない。何もかも失うことにな
You
る。
won't become Archer. I don't care what the Word of God says. Again, I feel like Without us, Rin becomes vindictive. Without us, Sakura vanishes. So,
どうしたさくら。熱があるのか。長く雨に打たれたから。
well, I mean, whole medicine thing too.
魔力がちょっと足りなくて。
あ、俺でも力に。
The movies are closer to the visual novels, it feels like, in this respect.
私を。いえ、血を少し
Oh, thank
入れてれば
God.
大丈夫です。
Not where I thought we were going here, especially with the whole virgin thing and the insects and the pleasure and whatnot.
これでいいか。
Oh, we are still gonna sexualize this. Okay, whatever. There's a whole vampire sub-community that must have been real into the visual novels. Say, I haven't fully matured as a guy yet, so I don't know how to handle the situation. So I'm gonna back out.
これ以上は先輩を怪我せないもの。
And we let fucking Shinji walk away again, so you know he's gonna show back up to fuck things over. Where the hell did Ryder go? That wasn't Taiga's bike, was it?
さくら。
It looked like
脱水
Taiga.
取っておいてくれ。
はい。ほうれん草どうします？
今日はごまであえようか。さくら。
I guess the only person I could think of asking for help with the alchemical shit would have been Rin. And she's turned her back on all this.
いただきます。 こういうのなんか久しぶりだな。 あ、食わないのか？
遠慮しなくても大丈夫よ。
There we go.
私たちはあなた方のような栄養摂取は必要としない。
そうか？セイバーはよく食べて
Saber had to. You weren't supplying that much mana.
あなた方の作法は私には合わない。
なんだ。それなら。
It's actually a Gorgon. Or whatever you call it.
今後の方針だけど、俺はサクラを勝たせて。
Oh.
聖杯を使っ
But
て。
I don't just notice the fork and spoon or whatever.
でも、サクラはうちから出ない方がいいと思う。ゾウケンと直接会うのは危険だからな。
その考えは正しい。ですが、あなたはどうやってあの魔術師を倒すのですか？
他のマスターと協力すべきだと思う。
あと誰が残っているんですか？
Who just left? Who am I forgetting?
遠坂のアーチャー、サクラのライダー、ゾウケンは
Oh, Ilya.
従えてて、あとはイリアのバーサーカー。
Berserker is the strongest there is. I've heard.
大丈夫でしょうか？
ああ、多分。じゃあ、サクラは外に出ないようにな。
Yeah, we go move up to that castle in the woods.
後悔しているのですか？
後悔なんて今さらできないでしょ。ライダー、 危なくなったら先輩を連れて帰ってきて。
けれどさくら、私はあの老人ではなくあの神父をこそ注意すべきだと思うのですが。
そうね、私も本当はそう思うわ。
Am I forgetting somebody? Am I forgetting somebody already?
安心して。
Oh, Kirei.
だってあの人
Kirei doesn't have anything to be worrying about.
では
I know Kirei's like superhuman himself, but God damn it. I feel like Sakura is going through the Iris Veil storyline from Fate Zero. Except that her version of Iris Veil's storyline is to harm everyone around her by accident. I understand this all too much. Never mind, not what I was thinking. Yeah, fuck it, I was 16 and a man once, so... I was gonna say, like, the cancer treatments and the dizziness and the wooziness and vertigo and whatnot. I've been at the position before where I could just do nothing but lay on the floor and wait for it to pass. That's different, though.
そうだ、外に出さなければいいんだ。そうすれば
Oh, shit.
もう危ない目に遭うことはないよね。あれ、私
That was like, what's her name?
考えて。
What's her name from Future Diaries? Psycho girlfriend from Future Diaries. Yo. That was creepy. Creepy shadows are the creepiest.
こりゃ難儀だな。
Well, the woods are also trapped. One of Ilya's birds.
ついてこいってことか。
I mean, the answer should be yes. However, on Unlimited Blade Works, she also thought it was funny when you guys walked over traps, so...
どうしてこんなところに。
Okay. Well, that's different. I was real worried it had fallen out of the sky because Ilya had died. Well, fuck. Looks like we're getting that anyway.
「あなたも主に似て臆病なサーバントね。私たちと戦う意志が感じられないわ。そんなに自分の命が大事。」
ああ、大事だとも。我が望みは不老不死。見よこの肉体を。刻一刻と腐り、腐臭を放ち、蓄えた知識を失っていく。その痛み、生きながら腐る苦しみがお主にわかるか。死が恐ろしくない人間などおらぬ。
Oh. And there was a real body in there. I thought it was 100% bugs.
世界中の人間を一人一人殺して回っておるわ。
Also, it kind of felt like the same speech that the zombies give
呆れたわ。
in Return of the Living Dead.
そこまで見失ってしまったの。マキリ、思い出しなさい。 私たちの悲願、奇跡に至ろうとする絶望はどこから来たものなのか。私たちは何のために、人の身であるままに人あらざる地点に到達しようとしていたのか。
Does she have the knowledge of the Ions Burns? There's someone talking through her.
人形風情がよくも言った。先祖の真似事も刷り込み済みというわけか。戯れはここまでじゃ。アインツベルの聖杯、この魔頭条件がもらい受ける。
I mean, no. Evil Saber's time. Again, we've seen her fail against Gilgamesh. The backup music's pretty kick-ass, though. I know you guys on YouTube are never going to hear this.
父さか。なんで？
まさかエミヤ君が同じこと考
I
えて
guess
た
I
ん
was
だ
wrong.
ね。
That's where Tasaki was actually going to be a bitch about this. So she's like pestilence now.
嘘でしょ。
You know, you could have Archer like helping out, hanging at range. Of course, Evil Saber is stronger than regular Saber.
そいつにやられたら戻ってこれなくなる。
Come on, you gotta love more lives, right?
勝負あったな。あとは任せるぞ。
I can't remember what it's fucking called. Not the 12 duties, the 12 hardships? Damn straight. Please don't let us lose Emilia twice in a row.
あーちゃん、お前。
バーサーカー。
I mean, if he's alive, just wish him back. You've got command seals.
お前の相手はこの私だ。
あーちゃん、頼んだわよ。
At least having no Archer in the overlay still makes sense. I still have like literally no guess as to what the fuck that thing is.
あれの呪詛界には逆らえん。今の貴様はこの森に満ちる怨霊と大差がない。
Where is Berserker? No, there is Berserker. Use a command seal. Did you use all your command seals already? Guess I've not seen them. I'm just saying, their connection is the strongest, I feel like. Everyone else has got, like, friendship or whatever on their side. Berserker and Ilya is basically like a father and daughter. Or some might say. Berserker is the strongest there is. Come on, that was only 3 times. I can wish him back, though. Or whatever you call that. My problem here is I'm afraid that Berserker is getting dwarfed. In one, we put him up against Gilgamesh to show that this is how strong Gilgamesh is. Now we're putting up against Evil Saber to show how strong Evil Saber is. Of course, while this is going down, if the curses have Archer on lockdown, then nothing's guarding them from Assassin. Remember, on Unlimited Blade Works, he went his number +1. Sorry, the TMJ is really killing me tonight. Sorry, at 4 a.m. recording. Excalibur. Even then, though, it'd just be anti-fortress against one guy. Oh, did it count as multiples for some reason? I was gonna say that Ilya would be covered in her seals, so it'd be hard to tell how many she had left by visually looking at her.
私の役目は済んだ。あとは機構に任せる。
ありがたい。
I mean, it is amazing that it overcame her anti-magic resistance. You know, I guess it kind of feels like you don't know her real name, which isn't, you know, the giant strength towards friendship. I guess this is a way that... I guess this is a way that Archer can go evil again, like he did in last route. But actually evil this time. Oh, okay. We're still good.
奇襲でなければ小僧の首も落とせないのか？三流。
貴様、なぜここに来れる？
Free action.
さあな。
Free action works against self-control, mind control, whatever it is.
あれに追いつかれたら終わりだぞ。戦技は後だ。走れ小僧。イリアの手を取ったからには最後まで守り通せ。
She's my sister, bro. Me? She's my sister, me.
行こう。
Although I guess technically she is your stepsister. And this is a ecchi game. Also, you know, the archer class thing.
多少の汚れも許容する。つまり、好みもいびつな英霊ということだ。
I guess that's a bit different from before. In your face. You got Iliad. So, if we're in the mountains, that's gotta be flowing back towards town.
急いでここから。
父さん。
Yeah, we're getting more and more than a little bit of tank. Is that the same fluid that was flowing around the Grail at the end of Unlimited Blade Works? In which case, is that just Iris Veil? When I say Iris Veil, I mean whatever the evil Zoroastrian god thing was. The Grail.
I am the bone of my sword. Still has my body. I have created over 1,000 blades.
Suck it into a reality marble?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it's the shield then. My problem herein is that it seemed like Archer died 3 times in Unlimited Blade Works, so I'm not going to trust him dying once here.
なんで白
Ooh, fuck. He does have infinite regen, it feels like. She doesn't, though.
ここまでか。達者でな、遠さか。
正気ですか？
Oh, yeah, I've just been here the whole
そんな
time.
ことをすればあなたは
考えるまでもない。何もしなければ消えるのは二人だが。
I'm assuming he's gonna cut off his arm and give it to Shiro?
一人は助かる。
Sorry, I grimace more, but again, the TMJ is just like, fuck. Does that mean that he's gotta constantly supply mana to his own arm, or his arm will disappear?
見かけがこんなんじゃ驚くよな。あ、ちょっと怪我した。こんなにぐるぐる巻きにするもんだから大げさに見えるけど。
So can we talk about the element that Archer was a grown-ass man with a grown-ass man's arm?
あ、遠坂は向こうであったんだ。
So Shiro's gonna be fucking lopsided until he grows up?
で、こっちはイリア。その、急で悪いんだけど、さくら。
Yeah, look, we're not all having great nights. Actually, you had a pretty good night.
でしょうね。
We saw that in the...
人間にサーバントの体を移植するなんてとんでもないことだもの。いい？一度でもその腕を使えばアーチャーの魔術回路が起動する。そしてその魔術講師にあなたの体は耐えられず。
Like I said, though, you should be having to supply your own arm mana.
じゃあ、この布は
封印よ。
You know, at the end of this,
遠坂、ありがとう。
when we finish Heaven's Feel, finish on Blade Works, and when we finish Fate's Day Night, we have to have a conversation about which version of Shiro at the end of each one would defeat a Shiro off.
さくらのことを考えてくれてるんだな。
She gonna hear mid-conversation get the wrong idea?
それ少し違う。
You see, I saw you doing the high jumps.
4年前くらいかな。あなた、日が落ちるまでずっと走り高跳びやってたことがあるでしょ。
There was National Watch Guys Do High Jumps Day.
延々と飛んでたバカをやっぱりバカみたいに眺めてた。私、自分にはできないって判断したらすっぱり手を引くたち。
Which doesn't seem to be true, by the way.
根本的に冷たいのよ。
Cold at heart thing, yes.
魔術師ですし。
I cannot imagine Rin giving up on something.
それでいいのかなって
Except
思
for
い
sleeping
か
in
け
late.
たところに自分と正反対のやつを見せつけられてさ。割とショックだったのよ。
Come on, Sakura, you're the pick. You gotta stay through. By the way, this never give up thing, he did one jump and then stood there. Are we implying that those are just Rin's memories and that Sakura didn't actually see them? Because I believe Sakura was there. Again, Archer has a grown-ass man's arm. I think it should be hanging down to Shiro's knee. That moment where you realize you've irrevocably fucked up.
ダメだ。これはダメだ。
That's not the size of arm that he got, my man.
あなたに聞きたいことがあります。さくらの幸福はあなたが生きてそばにいてくれるということ。それ以外に彼女の望むものはありません。
So how are you gonna divide your time up with all these other
彼女の
girls?
生存を望んでいる。私は彼女が好きですから。シロ、あなたはさくらの味方ですか？
Got no choice. I'm on the Heavensfield route.
たとえ何があったとしても。
さくら。ああ、魔力が足りないのか。入って待っててくれ。カッターどこやったっけ？
Oh, thank God, she's wearing clothes. I keep waiting for the moment this is gonna get supremely itchy. She's not super grinning, though, so she's not gone misery. Gonna break his legs to make sure he never leaves. No, we're going Ichi route. Okay. You know, before we get super creepy and porny, I was gonna say, it's a good thing Taiga hasn't come back to see that the house is now filled with strange girls.
先輩はどうして私を守ってくれるんですか？
それは俺の方がさくらにいてほしかったんだ。俺にはさくらが必要で、離れるなんて。
Even though I left you at home and met with 3 other girls today.
それは家族としてですか？それとも女の子としてですか？
I never believed Shiro would be mature enough to solve that conundrum.
さくらが好きだ。
なら抱いてください。
The eyeball judge Shiro right there is what I'm talking about. I don't believe he's mature enough to, like, figure this shit out.
私汚れてますか？おかしいですよね。
Remind me, and I don't actually mean remind me, I'm just putting this out there.
先輩の部屋に来ただけでこうなんです。
The bugs are still in her, right? The ones that eat you from the inside?
全然収まらない。
Kira implied that he didn't have the ability to take them all out of her.
考えられなくなってこんな汚らわしく。
I'm not saying that like as a judgment, oh, you're disgusting, you got bugs in you. I mean,
違う。汚らわし
you
く
put yourself in that. Do you get bugs in you too now?
さくらは綺麗だ。
They like the Kandaru, they swim up their urethra. Could be some real unpleasant surprises in this thing. I guess we're gonna find out.
私ダメなんです。さっき姉さんが先輩を連れて行ってしまっただけですごく怖くなって。
And yet, in Unlimited Blade Works, I could have sworn we had a scene that was supposed to be like this, too.
ごめん。
Again, maybe that was the visual. That was supposed to be sperm and it was like whales or whatever. Yeah, how do you fucking ignore that when you're sitting naked with her? I don't even know what to make of that. Is that like the uncertainty of her being there, or is that more like the Gurren Lagann ending, which I'm not trying to spoil for you, but if you know, you know. Because if it's a Gurren Lagann ending, that's fucking sad. It's sadness we got coming our way.
それはこの世すべての悪という人々に生み出されながら人々に望まれなかった何者かをはらんでいる。善悪の所在。答えを出すのではなく、答えを出せるものを生み落とすとしたらどうなる？
In Pandora's box, not the Holy Grail.
答えは近い。仮にこの疑問が神を冒涜するというのなら、神前において前例をかけ、我が主さえ問い殺そう。
Yeah, but that wouldn't be God. Jesus is the Lord. And Jesus is 1/3 of God. Because we do separate the three.
世話になるんだから、朝食くらいは作らせてもらうわ。
Again, you're just lucky Taiga hasn't come back.
私、遠坂先輩を手伝ってきますね。
あ、さくら。
Sorry, I just have it in my head now that she's gonna become,
遠坂に。
Suddenly I forgot the character's name in, Gurren Lagann.
姉さん、こっちのお野菜洗っておきますね。
お願いする。
Are they sharing memories?
やっぱり
Is that actually the thing? Did she vanish from Unlimited Blade Works because Rin took all the memories?
おかしいことはないけど。
Sorry, I'm just really trying to parse the whole thing.
イリア、例の件、私の部屋でいい？
例の件ってなんだよ。
こっちだって秘密兵器の一つや二つ必要かと思ってね。
アーチャーの腕にアインツベルンの知識があるのよ。
Why?
遠坂にそれを生かす何かがあるんじゃないかって提案したの。私はキシュアズルレッジの置き土産に興味はないけど、魔法使いが残した宝箱は綺麗そうだから。
キシュアゼル。
先輩。
I'm sure that's the old man's name at the Einsburn Castle, but technically his leftovers are Ilya. I don't know how the arm has anything to... I mean, unless it's the element that he helped create the Grail. I have no fucking idea where that comes from.
マトの家に行ってから遠坂との付き合いはなかったのか？はい。
No, I was in the bug pit.
私も姉さんもただ事実として姉妹だって知っていただけで極力交流はないようにしてきましたから。それに私の魔術を知られたらきっと嫌われる。
I guess we're never going to talk about what's his name. What's his name that really tried to save her? Who again the description called a pedophile out of nowhere. So I have no idea. I have no idea about that shit.
奪うばかりで他人に還元する教えがない。
さくらはマトの魔術が嫌いなのか？
確かに教えは厳しかったですけど、厳しさで言ったら先輩にはかないませんよ。
I mean, legitimately, it's a pit full of bugs. I can't imagine it being worse.
私何度も止めなくちゃって思ってました。 先輩の鍛錬は危険なものでした。まるで自分で自分の喉を貫いているようだった。それを誰に
Okay, I thought they were like
されるのでもなく、
powering him up to slowly be able to unravel more of the red
か
thing.
たくなに守ってきた。
Bandage. Words.
きっと
Sorry, we're going on a 5 a.m. recording
先
now.
輩が一番強い。魔術特性じゃなくて心のあり方が純粋だからです。
I mean, so far, I'm putting my money on Unlimited Blade Works Shiro to beat this Shiro.
出会った時から分かってたんですよ。この人はきっと何も裏切らない人なんだなって。
Well, yeah, I mean, that's who he is.
お前が取ったんだぞ、エリアー。
I guess meeting Kirei would do nothing to help you this time.
なんで何も起きないんだよ。
Gonna use it to tempt her? What do you... Obviously the point is to show us that he has it.
それでは次のニュースです。冬吉新都にある中央公園で殺人と思われる遺体が見つかりました。
ほらここ。雑草が黒く変色してる。
ってことはあの影が造剣がやらせたのか。
どうかしら。
I don't know if you can... I don't know if that thing is of Zoken. It just seems to appear.
あれ、味がしないな。
I'm thinking we're on the Gurren Lagann track. I know I keep repeating myself, but I keep twisting back and forth from it.
大丈夫。
We talked about it before, though, the whole she can't feel pleasure or whatever, and I guess taste is a pleasure.
今がずっと続けばいいのに。
It's gonna get real sad in the end. Remember, the Flash was filled with
ひたひたと散歩する。
dead, rotting
裏
rabbits.
裏の頭は空っぽで、キチキチした目的なんて上の空。ブルブルと震えてゴーゴー。クスクスと歌って
Some of them hanging from trees.
カラカラの手足は紙風船みたいにコロコロ地面を転がっていく。ふわふわ飛ぶのはきちんと大人になってから。ゴーゴーゴーゴー。
Yeah, I have to imagine it's gonna end in Nightmare. Yeah, we're already tilting in towards Nightmare. There's that girl. The girl holding a rabbit right there. Which means that she's connected to the thing.
キーキー誰かが寄ってくる。カラカラカラと笑い声。怖くした覚えはありません。
Don't think you want to eat candy made from whatever that thing is.
キンキンうるさく響くので。 お腹が鳴りました。
I wonder if we're gonna see that she's doing shit in the real world. Like sleepwalking.
精が出るな。だからあの時死んでおけと言ったのだ。
I guess this is what I just said. Oh, she's eating people. The blood. The blood that she needs.
キラキラ綺麗。
Fuck, I guess this does explain where she went in Unlimited Blade Works.
猶予は終わりだ。せめてもの慈悲と知れ。
I'm confused though. Is this happening right now?
Nani? まだ息があるのか。影だけでなく体まで変わる。
Sometimes my guy Gilgamesh makes it hard to root for him. I know you're not supposed to root for Gilgamesh at all, but just one of those days, right?
俺をひざまずかせようとは。
Sometimes Gilgamesh is just the funniest. That's what he's pissed off about, that he almost hand touched the ground. Okay, but I can't tell what that is. Is Fate Stay Night just filled with people who can twist Gilgamesh's abilities back on him?
よもや、そこまで。
Oh, fuck. Is that who that is? So that creature is just the shadow of Sakura. Creepy. Also horrific, yeah. This is even worse than, any of them. I guess it's second to Strange Fake, depending on the size. Well, no, Strange Fake, they just put him in a different world. They didn't even actually kill them. This seems like it's actually fucking killing them. This is the worst.
本日22時30分頃、新都駅周辺で大規模な停電が起きました。また、隣人がいなくなった、行方不明になった、突然消えてしまったなど、不可解な通報が警察に多数寄せられているようです。
I feel like we're gonna have to kill Sakura by the end of this.
Sakura! 待ってて、治療の道具を持ってくる。
Yeah, but not for her.
気づくな。やめろ。
Do you see the thing?
似ているだなんて考えるな。
I guess now we know what the other one is actually thinking, because we never heard the other one talk. But when Sakura was talking that other time, and it wasn't like her. has to be the other thing.
さくらは
生きてるわ。でも
Did it eat Gilgamesh? Is Gilgamesh actually gone?
さくら
I
の
don't know what the
体
fuck I saw
外
happen
見だ
there.
け綺麗につなげてあるだけで手足の筋肉がズタズタなのよ。あの子確実に一度死んでるわ。誰にやられたかはわからないけど、痛みは体だけじゃなく脳まで壊してるかもしれない。できる限り早くゾウケンとあの影を倒すわ。そのためにやれることをやりましょう。
Also, if the shadow thing is Sakura,
白
then where's Saber really right
あ
now?
の黒い影が全くの別物だとしたら、あなたはどうするの？
I mean, small miracles. Ilya is still alive. Don't know how that fucking happened, but here we are with that.
おはよう。まだ自分は残っている。さくら。どこでそんな魂
Never mind, Ilya's about to get herself fucking killed.
まだアサシンとライダーが残ってるのに。もう満ち足りてるなんて驚きだわ。
Oh, she knows.
さくら、これから自分がどうなるか分かってる。知りません。どうなるんですか、私。死ぬわ。絶対に助からない。
You know, seeing Ilya... Oh, fucking Taiga, you're still around!
あれ？シロいないの？
Yeah, I don't know how to handle this. No, don't hurt Taiga.
まったく。シロはどこ行っちゃったんだろう。さくらちゃんが大変な時に。ダメよ、無理しちゃ。
先輩は私のことを守るって言って。
I understand Taiga's completely out of the loop.
でもごめんなさい。
There's no way this turns out well for her by
私のせいで
being too close to this.
先輩の夢を壊しちゃう。
どうして？
それは私が悪い人だから。
シロは悪いことはダメだってちゃんと叱れる子だよ。さくらちゃんも悪いところは直したいって思ってるんだよね。
はい。
だったら大丈夫。それにシロの夢って正義の味方でしょ。守りたい人がいるって当たり前じゃない。
でもそれはみんな平等に。
That's the problem with Kiritsugu's dream.
やっぱり大事な人がいてもいいんだよ。キリツグさんだってエコひいき C だったんだからね。
This isn't good for Ilya.
この町で暮らすようになってからも、キリツグさんは何度も何度も海外に出かけていたの。それこそ体が動かなくなるまで。
Well, maybe this is good for Ilya. Find out that Kiritsugu kept trying
ど
to
うしても会いたい人がいたのね。
kept trying to see her, but he couldn't.
大事な人に会えないっていうのはとても辛いことなの。正義の味方であ
Oh,
って
this might be I would say this might be the saddest part because I'm thinking about Ilya in the hallway hearing this, but
さくらちゃんは
this movie has been so full of fucking sad parts. Yeah, just imagine being out there in the hallway. Dad actually kept trying to see me after all, and I've dedicated my life to fucking killing him.
裏切るのか。 かつての自分を裏切るのか。おい、やめろ。それを裏切るというのなら、お前はやめろ
And I don't know if you finish this route with Sakura alive. I don't know how you would, but...
エミヤ四郎だな。
Assassin?
魔術師殿から話がある。
I can only imagine that's the outline of Assassin.
思ったより早い到着だな。エミヤの小せがれ。
So I don't know why you would trust Assassin
造剣。
to have a meeting.
俺から言うことは一つだけだ。今すぐ桜を解放しろ。
解放か。そうとも言えるかの。エミヤ四郎。今日呼び立てたのは頼みがあってな。お主にあの影を殺してもらいたいのだ。
To kill Sakura. Okay, good to know. Good talk.
仲間。あれと意思疎通などできるものか。ゆべからはなだめることすらできなくなった。ああ、その前にあの影が何であるかを教えてやらねばならなかった。
It's the Grail, right?
言ってしまえば、あれは聖杯の。
That's what I said before. All that hollow space and what it does to people.
それがあの影よ。
Kind of had that sense of what happens to people who get everything they want, right?
影を殺せと言ったが、それは難しかろう。だが、門を殺すことは。
Which is Sakura.
わしや当釈の娘では感づかれる。サーバントではただの餌だ。
やめろ。
聖杯のかけらを埋め込み、わしが10年間育て上げてきた魔党の聖杯を殺せる
Oh,
の
so it's technically Ilya this time. It, Sakura.
が似ていることを。
Wait, so does that mean it's not actually Sakura, just like the image of Sakura?
愛しい男の手で終わるのだ。さぞ本望であろう。もう時間はない。桜の意識が空になれば、無意識を借り受けていた聖杯が浮上する。10年前の災害が再現されよう。
Well, this was just a bad fucking plan on your part, wasn't it?
桜を救いたいのであれば、聖杯戦争の期限切れまで耐えることだ。過去の例からいけば、あと4日ほどか。どうじゃ。
So she'll kill everybody or survive.
持つに決まってる。
だが、他の人間はそうはいくまい。夕べの暴食で今は腹が満たされておるかもしれんが、明日にでもまたあれは動く。あと何日でこの町の人間は完食されるかな。
It seems like you could just hole up because there's only one other servant left, and you've already insinuated that Assassin couldn't take her out.
魔党桜こそお主の敵
And
だ。
Ryder's not going to try and take out her own master. I'm assuming Gilgamesh is dead? Again, I don't know where to go with that. It feels like she killed Gilgamesh.
Sakura, 起きてるか？
はい。おはようございます。先輩。
I swear to God, every other scene feels like it's the perfect cliffhanger for the next movie to start. Like imagine if he walked in there. You feeling alright, Sakura? Oh, I'm good, senpai. And then fade to black. And then, whatever. I guess it's really gonna suck that the one that can probably help save us all is gonna be fucking Shinji with his final alchemical bottle. Or the knowledge to make more, and he just won't. Because I assume Shinji is still fucking alive for some reason. Really sucks that we didn't get any payoff by this, by the way. Her overhearing the conversation from Taiga about her dad going out to find that one special person until, like, he couldn't do it anymore. Because I really feel like that would have been a real big emotional thing to have seen.
なんか思いつかないです。先輩といられるだけで別にいいかなって。
なら一緒にどこか遊びに行こう。どこに行きたい？
じゃあお花見とかしたいです。
Is that Sakura, or is she, like, regressing?
よし。約束だ。
Assuming that's midnight 3 more days?
凍らせた心で
Assuming she doesn't turn into Shadow and start trying to eat people again?
いつか冬が過ぎて新しい春になったら二人で桜を見に行こう。
But just in case? What the fuck is up with that? Oh no, never mind. What? Somebody taking him over?
春になったら。
先輩。マトさくらです。大切な人から大事なものをもらったのは。先輩との時間を。
I get the impetus, right? She's gonna kill everybody unless I do this. I do not feel like this is Shiro to come walking into the room with a knife and being like, I have to think about all the things first. That's bullshit. I would sooner believe Castor was still alive and doing the wire work thing to puppeteer him. Also, your knife is shit, my dude. I can hear it wiggling. There's nothing. Get better knives. Also, Sakura's a pretty fucking deep sleeper. Will you betray him? Soken? Or your past self? Never mind. I forgot that was part of the early part of the movie. I don't even know how you would fucking make a read on this. One, I was gonna say, that's a mind fuck, but she's already, like, mind fucked to begin with. You cry because he came into the room and almost killed you? Or do you cry because he came in the room and almost killed you but didn't?
ありがとう、姉さん。姉さんと呼べて本当に嬉しかった。藤村先生、ありがとうございました。
Again, I have to assume this is because of what happened last night.
ごめんなさい。ライダー、先輩を殺さないでくれてありがとう。
Yeah, I guess you would have been there protecting her the entire time too, right?
さくら。
最後のレイジです。お願い、ライダー。おじいさまは
Protect Shiro? I don't know what the final wish would have been.
手遅れだけど、これ以上迷惑
My mind wandered, just like be free, like genie or something. That wouldn't have been nonsensical.
さくら、おはよう。ってあれ。
I don't know how that fucking goes.
よう、裏切り者。ずいぶん遅いお帰りじゃないか。
Does Shinji even know about the shadow shit? Like, he knows about the medicine and whatnot, but does he know about the shadow shit stuff?
兄さん、私。
ちょっと持ってみろよ。危ないもんじゃない。
綺麗。
あ。さくらはすごいな。
I thought he was gonna have a moment of realization that people would pay attention to him if he did good things. I clearly don't think Shinji is capable of that sort of shit. See? You gonna stomp on it now? Or is she gonna devour him? Or is he gonna do something ultimately even worse?
だからひどいことされるんだ。
Both times? Unlimited Blade Works and here he's a sexual fucking predator?
我慢して、我慢して、我慢して、我慢して。
さくら。
嫌です。私はもう先輩のものです。
I'm assuming that this is going to be the reason why she's not a virgin because of him, too.
どうしていつもこうなるんだろう。ずっと前から思っていた。
Turn into the shadow
ずっと前から恨んでいたんだ。
and fucking eat him. Shinji cannot keep getting away with this shit.
こんなにも私を嫌っているんだろう。
ああ、エミヤにも教えてやらないとな。今までお前がどのくらい
Rip his dick off.
張り付いてきて
Do something.
どのくらい汚らしく交わったかってことをさ。
I feel bad that he survived an Unlimited Blade Works now that I fucking know.
いなければいいのに。
True? Oh, come on, that was too quick. Really? Gilgamesh had bites taken out of him, and this guy gets the one-hit dick kill? No, Sakura, you did good. If you could, like, start targeting this shit to hit the people like him, no one would blame you. I don't know, guys. Have we gone crazy? Is this crazy? I just kind of assumed we were going to look out over the city and that giant hole was going to be forming in the sky. Oh. This is very Gurren Lagann. This is the moon's gonna kill us all moment of Gurren Lagann. Sorry, I apologize. This has probably not been my best work. Whatever that means. Because again, this is like going on at 5 a.m. and the jaw is just fucking killing me. That's why I've been doing this the whole time. But, this was... Sorry, I'm in the middle space here between this is pretty fucking good, and also this is some pretty horrific shit that I don't know how to parse out in like one thought process. The implication that Shinji has been this, because again, I assume he's been this across all timelines. Especially given the element of the stuff that happens before the Grail War starts is always going to happen across all timelines. So when she says, not a virgin anymore, that was always Shinji, I have to assume. And that shit, like, the fact that Shinji gets to keep walking away from situations, knowing now what he's guilty of, it was Sakura feeding him apples at the end of Unlimited Blade Works. And she defends him like he's mean to the people he likes the most. And now knowing what the fuck that shit meant. Oh my god. Sorry. I assure you that this shit is going to be rumbling around in my head until the next recording. Like shit that like is super obvious, but dumbass me is going to be parsing out like, oh my god, she said this thing like in episode whatever. Then I'll be like, oh my god, in this new context, what the hell does that fucking mean? As I said, Shinji deserved so much worse. His ass shouldn't have been killed with like one whip attack through the neck or whatever. Considering how many people we saw get like hurt badly over a long time. Like even Gilgamesh got his leg ripped off before, or bitten off before, again, I assume Gilgamesh is dead. Anybody could be brought back at this point, I don't fucking know. I assumed at some point Saber was going to come out and have a conversation with Sakura, but I don't know where she fucking is in the grand scheme of all that. I don't know, man. Should I expect to see that shit in Stay Night as well? Because I think you guys have mentioned the fact that Stay Night is more of a combination of Stay Night route itself and Unlimited Blade Works. Where very clearly this is the darker half of everything. Sorry, I feel my throat going now too. I am throwing everything into this before I end up crashing. Oh, jeez. I've already explained before, like when I'm talking to Lessons, how I have to interrupt him throughout our debates and everything, because I have a hard time keeping the thoughts together. I'm experiencing a recency bias when it comes to what thoughts I've been holding this entire time. Because obviously this is a 2-hour movie. And pretty fucking heavy shit there at the end. Whereas I was guessing completely different stuff by the meaning of the flickering. And it turns out that she is the Grail's vessel, I guess. Like, I don't know if Ilya is herself still the Grail vessel. Because obviously, here in this movie, we didn't get the opportunity to see, again, whatever the Zoroastrian god representation thing is, go back to Ilya. And I don't know from whence, let's call him Zoroaster, Zokin got his seed to plant. Oh, fuck. Is it still going to be fucking, Shinji? When he said seed to plant, was he just fucking talking about Shinji again? No preview this time? Okay. Well, never mind.
さくらだけの正義の味方になると。だから、歯を食いしばれ。
Is this Gurren Lagann? Am I just watching Gurren Lagann? Okay, evil berserker. The thing's twisted on their heads. You can see that too. Evil saber comes back. Archer, you evil archer. Normal rider. Good perspective shot. We always had them in a circle, so having the... I don't know if you saw that before in any of the other shows. But have them looking up at the thing, that's pretty fucking cool. I don't know what the context of this is. The final chapter, was it talking about the manga? Or are they just implying to those people that didn't know that Heaven's Feel 3 was going to be the end? Is that what that meant? My confusion there is that the the cherry blossoms. Sorry, it took me a minute. I saw the white and red and cherry blossom trees and the promise that he made to Sakura wasn't the first thing that came to my mind. I was thinking of the snow fields and the snow trees from when Ilya and Berserker bonded for the first time. Because again, we lost Berserker in this movie. And featured them in the next time on. Again, I guess that's more of a Unlimited Blade Works thing. God, everything kind of pales in comparison now by how adult and dark this is versus Unlimited Blade Works. God, I don't know. There's so much good about Unlimited Blade Works. I guess I can see what you guys are saying now. Had this been done in the same way that Unlimited Blade Works had been done, that this would have been superior. I could see where this would have been the better of the three. Again, I can't really say that. I'm not done with Stay Night. But the fact that Stay Night is the first feature and kind of merges a bunch of things together doesn't make me confident that I would suggest that it's probably going to be the best. But of the three routes in anime format, I mean, again, this also could benefit from the element of it's half the length of the other ones when you put it all together. And technically, I'm like 2/3 of the way through. I don't know. I could see this one deals with a darker subject matter. It deals with what's the word I want to use here? Its psychological elements are more on the table, whereas Unlimited Blade Works just kind of feels like, and then again from the element that Fate Stay Night itself has elements of Unlimited Blade Works in it. Unlimited Blade Works just kind of feels like another version of the events of Fate Stay Night. Again, as somebody who hasn't played the game, there's nothing specifically here that I feel was so absent that I would get upset about. Again, other than the element of Ilya wish Berserker back. Because all I can think of now in my head is when a fake assassin comes at Jester, and Jester wishes them as far away from the place as possible. Like, they don't have to wish you don't have to wish a thing to you. You can wish it to somewhere else. So, I feel like we could have saved Berserker, but there's no indication that Ilya has been using command seals left and right, so I don't know. I guess Kirei's still around, but he's used all his command seals, so he's effectively not in the game outside of being an observer. I'm guessing Gilgamesh is dead. I don't see any way that Sakura is still around and Gilgamesh is also alive. So he's no longer in the running to create his own grail or whatever the fuck. She ate Gilgamesh. I don't know if we could see an evil Gilgamesh, because I think Gilgamesh would just come back out being Gilgamesh. Yeah, I don't. Here's my problem. I don't foresee. I can't. I'm good at guessing what next episode would be about. I'm not so good at guessing what next movie would be about. I don't know how I could make a guess that would be 2 hours long. I mean, ultimately, I feel like I'm just going to be sitting and unwinding, or not unwinding, digesting the things that happened here. I guess here's the element. I keep wanting Shinji to pay, right? I want him to be beaten to the floor every time I saw him because he keeps getting away with shit. And that was before we found out of the shit that he was getting away with. But he kept getting away. We would just let him walk away. And now, with all the context, I'm thinking he's fucking survived Unlimited Blade Works. And now I'm definitely not going to be thinking about him in any specific way. Like, I feel like I was almost defending him in Stay Night with Lessons. Like, oh, that son of a bitch. I'm like, oh no, but they used to be friends, and I even had a note about it, that how friendly they looked together in the past, knowing that he must have been up to that fucking shit back then too. Again, the element of looking at this and then being able to put everything else into context, getting fucking adopted into that family. Man, no wonder, right? Maybe we should just fucking let her destroy the world, right? She got fucking adopted into that family, tortured by insects day in and day out, to the point that they're fucking killing her. Then had to deal with Shinji the whole fucking time. I mean, maybe we deserve it. Like, I don't know. Maybe she's the proof that humanity doesn't need to be around anymore. I feel like if I wasn't, again, dealing with all this, I would just be in a constant 1,000-yard stare. However, you wouldn't be able to tell. Because again, 5 a.m., it's not that I'm like super tired, just my eyes are just normally like this all the time. So it's really hard at a distance to tell if my eyes are even open. And again, the 5 a.m. don't help that much. I would be the 1,000-yard stare version of this. Like, I don't know how to deal with that. The rewatch of this is going to be crazy for when I take my notes, I'll tell you that much. And I said that's just based on like the last half hour, because again, the recency bias in my head, I can't even imagine thinking about what happened at the start of the episode when things were like normal. I don't even say normal. When we're just coming off of losing Saber, which is crazy enough to think about already. And then not knowing what the shadow thing was back then. Like, I guess the biggest clue was, again, that I watched that flash thing at like 25% speed, and then saw those images, and then Sakura is having her crazy little dream, and then the imagery is there, and it's like, oh no, I don't know what this means, but this is an oh no situation. All oh no's on deck. Insane. This is insane, and I don't know how people... Okay, I do know how people wouldn't like it. The element is that if you're into psychological horror and whatever fate stuff you want to throw on top of that, this has got to be some of the best. Like, I know that if you're familiar with the visual novel, your indication is that there's so much more, and what you're missing out on kind of ruins that, but I don't know that half. And I'm comparing this to... I know Unlimited Blade Works wants to take itself seriously, but this, I feel like, is the seriously, and Unlimited Blade Works just feels fun by comparison. Well, I guess it can't be, though, because we can... Shinji's fucking actions here proliferate back to the past. So even Fate Stay Night, Shinji's guilty of this. It's difficult. It's rough. It's rough. Because again, you gotta take this shit seriously, no matter what is being presented at you. The fact that Fate Stay Night has more of an upbeat tone to it, because it's a 90s show. even though it's also presenting itself as a weird mystery sort of thing. And the fact that they're never... I can't foresee having a episode with lessons where I'm like, oh, yeah, shit, that's the stuff that I didn't want to bring up. Like, this goes right up there with the, hey, by the way, did you know Shiro was actually Archer? The stuff that isn't gonna, you guys have told me, doesn't show up there. That Lessons is never gonna know that shit unless I bring it up, which I don't intend to. Is Lessons gonna know about the Shinji shit, other than he's just not gonna like Shinji for Shinji being Shinji? By the way, I gotta point out, I think I mentioned this in the last Fate Stay Night reaction, which I don't know. This might end up going out before the last recorded Fate Stay Night recording that we did because of the way that I'm ordering the edits and whatnot. We have one more to record this month, and that is going to happen on Monday, I think. Sorry, if you don't know, to date this is being recorded on, I guess technically I started on Thursday night, and now it's Friday morning. But yeah, so a couple of days from now, I'm gonna be in Fate's Day Night, and I can't even remember what we watched last. Now that my mind's in this on Heaven's Feel, I'm just gonna come into there super fucking hating Shinji, and I'm not gonna be able to explain it. Or do I explain it? I can't. That might explain it in Fate's Day Night, and I can't fucking ruin part of the show, but I'm gonna have a fucking hate boner for Shinji now. More so than I did before. Alright, I'm definitely rambling. Again, the element isn't that I'm rambling specifically, it's that I'm rambling about the same half-hour moment of the show. And if I'm not rambling about something new, then I'm just doing circles, and that's not good for anybody. So, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here. And obviously next time we're going to come back for the final episode of Heaven's Feel, where we'll have notes, probably comments, an update to the board, and then we'll finish that. And as I said before, I believe the plan from Fenrir756 is that we will then go into Fate Apocrypha, which I'll probably do a wrap-up on the movie, thoughts there, in the opening of Apocrypha. Do I do that there? Maybe I'll make like a separate video, like a separate extra video for thoughts on Heaven's Feel, I guess in completion and on the final movie itself. Only from the element that Fate Apocrypha is its own thing, so people who might just be coming for Fate Apocrypha aren't going to want an hour-long discussion about the end of Heaven's Feel in that opening bit. So maybe there's one time I'll think about ordering the videos. I mean, we did it for Witch from Mercury. We went to the penultimate episode, did a whole recording about the penultimate episode, and then did the episode recording itself. So it's not unprecedented that we would think about these things ahead of time. Anyway, I got a week to think about that, so until then, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?